Hi everyone, I'm Fia Fastbinder and welcome to Moxie Talk, where I help you find your voice, share your message, and lead with confidence. Today we are going to be talking about my go-to favorite technique to help people overcome fear. But before we do that, if you are watching me on YouTube, please make sure to hit that alert button so you get notified anytime I put out new content. And if you enjoy this video, please make sure to like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel. In my last video, I gave you my 3 favorite mantras to help overcome fear and walk towards that fear and accomplish great things. Now, today, I want to build onto that and back up those mantras with my favorite technique to help us face our fears. Or, as I like to say it, feel the fear and do it anyway. Now, I know for some of us, mantras are all fine and good, but they aren't enough to push us or to give us that momentum we need to take risks and to put ourselves in scary situations, even if that's what we logically know we need to do to achieve those outcomes we're looking for. And I totally understand that. Oftentimes, I will equate the modern day equivalent of the freeze in the fight, flight, or freeze mechanism as just not doing that frightening thing and making up reasons why we shouldn't or couldn't do it, pushing it off, procrastinating, or even convincing ourselves that it's not for us to try in the first place. If you've watched some of my other videos on fear, you know that this is really your brain's attempt to keep you safe and to keep you out of danger. And because our brains don't know the difference between real danger, like being attacked by a bear, and imagined danger, like giving a speech, it will do anything it can to protect us in both of those situations. And in the case of giving a speech, that freeze mechanism presents itself in inertia, feeling completely stuck in the mud, and feeling like you can't move forward. Or sometimes in that moment, it feels really real, like that inner voice or inner critic is there in the room with you. As I like to call that voice, it's your K-crap radio station, and it's playing this just crap in your head all day long, and it gets louder and louder as you get towards this scary thing. And in fact, sometimes it's not just talking to you, it's shouting at you. And usually it's saying things like, you don't even want to give this speech at all, you're not good enough, you shouldn't do this. All of those inner critic voices that we hear before we do a scary thing. So what I want to unpack in this video today is my number 1 go-to technique that I've used with literally thousands of people to help them replace doubt with determination and comfort with courage and do the damn thing that they know deep down inside they're really capable of doing. And this technique is breath work. Now, I've done several other videos unpacking various aspects of breath work, and I could literally spend all day just on breathing. But obviously we don't have all day, so in this video, I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest down and dirty advice on how to breathe your way to success. Now, the first thing to understand is the connection between your diaphragm, which is that sheath of muscle that sits between your chest and your abdomen, and your vagal nerve, the largest nerve in your body. Now, vagal comes from the Greek word that means wanderer, because this nerve literally wanders our body for signals that we are in fight or flight, and it should activate our sympathetic nervous system, or rest and digest, at which point it would activate our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, we oftentimes think about our bodies as being a top-down system, meaning our brain tells our body what to do. But actually, 80% of the signals we get are from our body to our brain, and only 20% of signals start in our brain and go to our body. So this means that emotions are largely starting in your body and giving signals to your brain. Think about it for a minute. How is your breathing when you're in a stressful situation, like being late to something or stuck in traffic, versus your breathing when you're falling asleep? In both of those situations, your vagal nerve wandered your body and either found signs of stress, like when you're late and stuck in traffic, and activated your sympathetic nervous system, or your vagal nerve found signs that all was quiet on the Western Front, like when you're about to fall asleep, and sent signals to your brain to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So breathing correctly can get us to feel the same calm we feel before bed, even when we're about to deliver a high-stakes presentation. This means that we can be alchemists to our biochemistry when we learn how to breathe correctly. We can literally alter our biochemistry by tapping into our vagal nerve and sending signals to our neurotransmitters that we can release the fight or flight mechanism and secrete more dopamine and serotonin, those feel-good hormones that put us into rest and digest. I sometimes describe this process of switching from our sympathetic to our parasympathetic nervous systems like we are manually shifting a car into lower gear. But in this case, the gear is our breathing and the engine is our brain. So how do we make this shift? I like to describe this kind of breathing as horizontal breathing. When most of us are stressed, we do vertical breathing. We breathe up and down like this, if we even breathe at all. Now, when we practice vertical breathing, we are breathing up and down, but what we want to be doing is horizontal breathing, breathing in and out. The problem with the vertical breathing is A, it's not going to send that super important signal to your vagal nerve that you're all right, and it's okay to switch into that rest and digest. And B, vertical breathing doesn't incorporate your diaphragm or your lower lungs, which are the biggest, most oxygen-rich part of your lungs. So you're not getting all that amazing oxygen, which is necessary to create circulation in your body and your brain. And it's especially important to have this oxygen in your brain because when you are in fight or flight, your body pulls all of that great blood flow that's circulating in your brain and sends it to your extremities so you can fight or flee. And this means that you experience up to 75% reduced cognitive ability and reduced blood flow to your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logic, reason, and memory. Important things when you're giving a speech. So if you've ever experienced that deer in headlights feelings, that is why. But by simply practicing horizontal breathing, we can activate our diaphragm, which will send those signals to our vagal nerve to send all of that great blood flow to our brain and our body. And all of that great blood flow will bring back your prefrontal cortex to life so that you can think properly, and it will lower your heart rate so you don't feel like your heart is beating out of your chest. Great things. So we are going to practice some horizontal breathing, or as I like to describe it, balloon breathing. In order to experience horizontal breathing, I'd like everybody to put their hands on their diaphragm, which I said before is that sheath of muscle between your chest and your abdomen. And your diaphragm is shaped like this. It's dome-shaped, and it goes like this, and it pushes air, literally pushes air into your lungs. Now, when we practice horizontal breathing, we breathe out, and then when we breathe in, we push all of that air into our lungs. So we're gonna try that now. And in order to give you a visual, everybody imagine that you have a big balloon inside your belly. And when you breathe out, you are gonna fill that balloon out with air. You're gonna actually feel it go out, right? That's that horizontal breathing. And when you exhale, all of that air is gonna come out of your balloon and out your lungs and out your mouth, okay? So we're gonna breathe in. We're gonna fill up our balloon and we're gonna breathe out. Let all of that air out of that balloon, through your lungs and out your nose or mouth. So we are going to try this one more time, but this time when you breathe in, I want you to try to breathe in through your nose, which I will call dragon breathing, if you can envision a dragon with its nostrils flared, right? So you're gonna breathe in through your nose like that. And when you breathe out, you are gonna imagine you are blowing out a birthday candle with your lips pierced like this. It's really that simple. So you're gonna breathe in through your dragon nose, Your belly gets big, your balloon gets big, you breathe out. You let all of that oxygen out your pierced lips and you blow out that birthday candle. Now, one note, if this is very difficult for you, if you have trained your body to not incorporate your diaphragm, simply lay down on your back on the ground and try this again. It is very difficult to not use your diaphragm when you're on your back. So now that you've found your diaphragm and you understand how to do horizontal breathing, we need to layer in what I call rhythmic breathing. Why? Because the key to manually shifting your body into rest and digest isn't one big horizontal breath, but slow, steady horizontal breaths. I call this kind of breathing low and slow. So let's practice some rhythmic breathing. Everyone put your hand on your diaphragm. Again, obviously when you are going to present, you wouldn't have your hand on your diaphragm. This is for some extra body awareness as you learn how to do this. Now that you know how to do that horizontal breath, we are going to practice doing that in what I call 4-4-6. So we are going to inhale for a count of 4, hold our breath for a count of 4, and exhale for a count of 6. Now, why are we exhaling for longer than we're inhaling? The bigger we exhale, the bigger we're going to inhale. And what we want to inhale is all that great oxygen that's going to send those great messages to our vagal nerve and flood our body with all that good circulation and good oxygen and increase our blood oxygen levels. So that's why we're doing 4-4-6. So we are going to do that 3 times. We're going to go through the 4-4-6 patterns. Now, 3 times is not the magic number. That is the absolute minimum you should do in order to get this great experience of going into your rest and digest mechanism. So if you need to do it more than 3 times, that's totally fine. It depends really how nervous you are. The more nervous you are, the more rhythmic breathing you are going to have to do to send that signal to your vagal nerve. So here we go. We're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Now this time I'm just going to count and I'm going to allow you, when you're watching this video, to try it so that I can count and you can breathe. Keep your hand on your diaphragm. I'm going to count a little bit slower. Here we go. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the good news about mastering this low and slow type of breathing, aside from its ability to bring us back down to planet Earth and help us stay grounded and calm in those scary situations, is that with a little help from your inner coach, you can reframe this experience, like speaking at your next company meeting or delivering a high-stakes presentation or interviewing for that new position. So what do I mean by this? I mean, we can reframe our emotions to perceive a scary situation, which seems negative, as an exciting situation, which seems positive. And psychologists actually call this emotional framing. Our bodies react to anxiety and excitement as nearly physiologically the same. Think about the last time you were on a roller coaster. You probably experienced that same physiological sensation as when you're about to deliver a high-stakes presentation. So when our heart starts to race and we get those butterflies in our stomach and we start to breathe rapidly, we can tell our brain that this is actually excitement. And the crazy thing is that eventually our brain will believe it and start to calm our breathing and therefore calm our state of mind. In fact, elite performers, athletes, and Olympians use this kind of reframing to help them get out there and push themselves to places of discomfort and fear in order to go after the gold. If you want to see this for yourself, I challenge you to listen to an Olympic athlete being interviewed before an event. They rarely, if ever, say that they're nervous, although we know they are. They say that they're excited. So the next time you need to bust out of this freeze state of mind and find the momentum to walk towards your fear, take a page out of my playbook and the playbook of Olympic athletes and breathe. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and check out moxieinstitute.com. We've got lots of great classes that are available to you, including classes on overcoming your fear of public speaking, and they include breath work. Until next time, make sure to lead boldly, live brilliantly, and speak with Moxie.